I am what's known on the streets as a cyberbully. Now, what I will say is that I believe that sometimes my behavior is warranted. But before we proceed, I just want to say that I'm sorry for not posting in such an extended period. We don't care. No one cares. We don't care about how you stubbed your toe while juggling penguins off a 3-story hot air balloon. Enough with the sob stories and unnecessary long intros. Groceries, bag, figure it out. Brilliant ant population. Now, before we get into the video, an interesting metric. I noticed that only 22% of you who watch my videos... Hey man, I just want to say, if I see this, I'm never subscribing. You see this gesticulation right here? Watch, I'm never subscribing. In fact, you know what I like to do when I see this? I smash that subscribe button just to get the satisfaction of unsubscribing. That's the level of petty we're at, and I'm good with that. And for the love of God, stop asking me to subscribe every single chance you get. It just comes across as extremely desperate. Put a little animation somewhere or mention it at the end if you feel like everyone needs a reminder. But save us having to skip through the video, subscribing to my dying channel. Now, all of these things, that is, the clickbait titles, sob stories, and boring reminders, pale in comparison to hopefully my last gripe with this industry. And that, my friends, is syphilis. Sorry, that's an upcoming video. You may think it's incompetence, of which there is a lot on YouTube. Bro was freaking trying to do CPR to resuscitate any dead pixels using a power drill. I don't know. But that's not my biggest problem. My biggest problem is the conundrum of paid reviews. It's a conundrum because manufacturers hold all the cards. Reviewers need views. And if you don't have a product to review before embargo is lifted, you may as well store your video on the second page of Google's search results. Companies will of course favor reviewers who aren't overly critical of them, and small creators aren't exactly swimming in money to drop $2,000 on 2 sticks of RAM for a review video, so they are afraid to shed any and all negative light. They will also over-exaggerate positive aspects. Example.
Today we're building in the best small form factor case that will probably ever exist, the SKIT FF07. SKIT really went out and said, I'm gonna make the best case ever, and then followed through with it.
Now don't get me wrong, I appreciate SKIT, but what exactly makes this the best SFF case to ever exist? Oh, maybe it's the $1,000 price tag. Or perhaps official support for like, I don't know, 2 GPUs in existence. Or maybe it's the horrendous piss-poor thermals.
At a power draw of 530 watts on average, I'd say that this is a great result for a small form factor case. CPU temps, on the other hand, are quite high, settling somewhere in the 75 to 76 degree range. Let's take a closer look at those CPU temperatures. In my God of War Ragnarok shader compilation test, things aren't looking very good. The cooler struggles cooling more than about 110 watts or so, bouncing off the thermal limit.
Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Come on, guy. Come on. We can't be dishing out GOAT titles like we're in sub-Saharan Africa or Dagestan. As soon as a company gifts you an item, there is automatically bias. How do I know this? I have in a previous life been sent out stuff to review years ago. And when it happened, I immediately felt like I had to skirt a little around negative parts of a review and throw in a couple of softballs. I despise myself for even having thought like that, but I am telling you, it happens. If you don't believe me, go and watch any unbox therapy video and tell me if you even hear an iota of a negative thing. I'll wait. Reviewers don't want to bite the hand that's feeding them, sure, but there is nothing wrong with saying, guys, Noctua sent me this thing for free, they're not paying for a review spot, but I am going to have bias, so make up your own minds. There are an exceedingly small number of creators, in my opinion, that now have other businesses or community support bringing enough FU money, like Gamers Nexus or Debauer or Hardware Unboxed, where you're getting objective reviews. I think the whole thing that set me off was this.
NZXT is probably a name you most likely forgot about or didn't expect to hear anytime soon, especially after the whole Flex fiasco, where NZXT offered customers a choice on renting a gaming PC with some shady terms and conditions. Yeah, that didn't end too well. So after all the drama and the complete rework of their Flex program, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to launch my new series on the channel and ask the question that a lot of you guys are still asking today. Is NZXT still good? The ultimate pre-built PC with the highest tier configuration. Full disclosure, by the way, NZXT did send this PC over and sponsor this video. However, I made it very clear to them that they have no control in what I say or what I do in this video.
Edgar, you have a great channel and you do unbelievably wholesome things like home makeovers and freebies for subscribables and, you know, these Micro Center super quiz giveaways. I understand that this is your livelihood, but you don't need to be doing this, man. I mean, can you imagine if NZXT had to do a similar offer with the likes of Gamers Nexus? Hello, Steve? What's up, my man, my brother? How you doing? It's me, NZXT. No, NZXT. You remember a couple of months ago we had this little kerfuffle where we were baiting and switching PC parts and then paying influencers to sell it to their audiences at the small price of a small African country's GDP. Some people pronounce it NZXT, but listen, things have changed a lot around here. Now listen, this is what we're going to do. We want to send you a free PC that a technician has thoroughly gone through, because it's coming to you, Mr. Tech Jesus, sir. And then we pay you money to then promote it to your audience. How does that sound? Hello? Steve? Angry. Of course I'm angry. I'm sick of it. I'm furious that retailers have lived long enough to become the scalpers, with terrible GPU launches and prices. I am sick of RAM costing more than a week-long holiday in the Maldives. And I'm sick of game companies half-releasing terrible games and nickel and diming us with microtransactions. And I'm sick of reviewers feeding us reviews that have financial motivation and a clear bias. I don't know. This started off as some rant about my personal YouTube viewing preferences and ended up being some ADHD-fueled disposition on the entire tech industry. Send help. Fair enough. If I have to be the a-hole that has to speak up about a seemingly obvious thing, then so be it. I'm gonna be honest, I will be overly joyed if NZXT actually overhauled and fixed things. I think they make, I don't know, the best looking motherboards, period. But is this going to change anything? Probably not. But I'm hoping this rage-fueled rant makes you a little bit more skeptical when watching reviews, especially if they've been paid for or gifted.